I just got back from a 5-day mule deer hunt out in North Dakota. This was the first time I've ever hunted mule deer in my entire life. I was out there with my brother and his friend, and we had a lot of fun and created a ton of memories. So I hope you guys enjoy my first ever mule deer hunt. We just arrived in North Dakota, and man, it is so open out here. There's so much land all over the place. You can just see for miles in some spots. But it's actually one day before opener. So today what we're gonna do is drive around and do a little bit of scouting. Now, hopefully we can find a good buck to be able to get on in the morning and do some spot and stalk. But you never really know what's gonna happen, you know? That's hunting.
That one right in the middle is a big old buck.
Well, things are looking pretty good. We just got to our first spot here, and there's a big old muley bedded. He's super wide, exactly what I'm looking for. He's about a 28-inch muley. He's bedded down with a couple of decent bucks, probably 22, 23, and there's 2 or 3 does as well. But if you look closely, you can see he's the biggest one, and he's actually bedded down in the most cover of all these deer. That's how you know he's big, and that's how you know he's smart.
Nah, he's just standing up.
Aside from the fact that he's got a massive rack on top of his head, I mean, that's pretty obvious.
That one in the middle is really, really nice.
I mean, we're looking at 700 yards right now, maybe even 800 yards. I don't have a rangefinder right now because my brother has it, but look at how far away this thing is, and you can just see the massive rack.
Hello. Hey, me and your brother up here north of Solon, because they're letting those roads drive out down south. We found a buck about almost 30 inches.
On a 30 incher.
Yeah, almost 30 inches.
Yeah, they really don't get a whole lot bigger than that. And we kicked up a couple more does as well.
Alright guys, it's 5:30 in the morning right now. We just got all loaded up here. We got 3 guns, we got 2 7MMs, and we have a 308 right here. Got all of our orange camouflage backpack full of everything that I need. I got a camera, got some tripods in here. I got all kinds of stuff in here. I got bullets in here, food in here, binoculars, rangefinder. Everything is all packed in this backpack. I got water here. So yeah, this backpack is super heavy, loaded up, and let's go do this. We're about to go after some giant muleys that I saw yesterday. There was 2 different herds of bucks. One had for sure like a 28 inside muley, super wide buck, and then the other spot had a couple of probably, I don't know, 180, maybe 190 bucks, but they're straight up really tall, thick bucks. So it depends on if I want to get a thick buck or a really tall, wide buck. We'll see what happens.
There's some more bucks in front of us.
Where, right down there?
Yeah, right off that bank.
Oh.
On the other side, you can see them.
Oh my God, look at that buck. Wow, that's a big buck. Alright, we just made it up over this next ridge here, and there's no sign of these bucks. In fact, there's nothing out here, so I think maybe they moved off a little bit more to the north. They're right behind that rock wall right there. And today, as you can see, there's no sign of anything out here right now. I saw a couple does, but that was it. There's a lot of land out here, and there's some cows out there. I honestly thought they'd be on top of this plateau here, but apparently they're not up there right now. The sun's just starting to come out, as you can see over there from the sunset, but I guess we'll have to go to the next spot. Either way though, this is still really cool. And again, if you check out the view behind me here, it doesn't get much better than that. I can see for miles out there. Check out this view. There's the plateau right there. And then that's where we saw those deer before. They were back there. They were running along that brush row right there. There was 4 or 5 does I saw. They trotted off that way, but no buck. Well, we'll have to keep on looking. That's cool. Oh, wow, we just spotted a massive herd of muley bucks, and there's definitely 2 shooters out there. The only problem is they're about a mile away. Nice bucks out there. Look at them silhouetting over that ridge. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So what happened after that is my brother and his friend were coming up from this other ravine on the opposite side of me, and they kicked up a couple of good bucks. So they both ended up getting a buck out of that herd, which was awesome, but I didn't really see anything big enough that day. It's a long ways out there. How far do you think he is there?
Over there?
Yeah.
Shit, I'd say fucking at least a mile.
Oh yeah?
That coyote's coming right at us.
Well, let's just say the day wasn't quite over, and I was walking back to the truck at about 500 yards away, and I jumped up a massive, probably 160, 170, 10-point whitetail buck, but he was super far away, and I knew if I didn't take a shot now, I was never gonna get one. So he was about 500 yards, and I held it right on his front shoulder, took a shot, hit right behind him, reloaded, took another shot, aimed a little bit higher and forward this time. All of a sudden his back leg buckled, and I was like, oh my god, I hit him. 550 yards on the run. And well, that's why I got super excited. I ended up putting a tweet out there saying I hit a big buck, and went over there, found some good blood right away, but unfortunately we could not recover that buck. So then the next day comes, we go out and we find a bunch of does and a bunch of small bucks again and again and again. And as time goes by, I start to think, wow, I don't know if I'm actually gonna see a big enough buck to shoot, because I know opening morning we saw some giants, or not opening morning, but the day before opening morning we saw some giants, and that's typical to hunting. You know, you'll see all the big bucks before opener, but once opening happens, it's like they're gone. They're out of this country. So anyways, I stayed positive and kept hunting really hard. We were walking miles and miles looking for good bucks. Spotted a couple way off in the distance, but they were too far. By the time we came close to them, they were gone. And when I'm saying too far, I'm talking we spotted them about 1.5 miles away, and we snuck all the way over, and we got to the position where we thought they should be, and they were gone. So yeah, that happened. A couple more days go by, and well, we hunted all day long, didn't see anything, just a couple of does. All of a sudden, we're getting ready to, you know, finish off our hunt. This is going to be pretty much our last day. And I'm thinking, well, at least I got to see some big bucks. I mean, I didn't get any, but I got to shoot at one, a big whitetail, and I saw a huge muley before opener, but I didn't actually get one. So at least I'm happy, you know, I got to see some bucks and got to shoot at one. Well, before I knew it, next thing I know, I look up and there's this herd of muleys coming. My brother says, big buck, right out in the front. And so we knew that he was definitely a shooter. And honestly, at that point, I spot him up on the ridge at about 600 yards away. He's kind of in between this big ravine and this bluff right below me. So I know he's kind of heading my direction. And what I decided to do is swing wide to the right and try and stay downwind to him. And all I have to do is let him come my direction, because as long as he doesn't see me, he should keep on coming. And we have a good wind as well. That's a very important factor I should have stated. But anyways, I snuck around him. I have my GoPro. Everything's all set up perfect. But what I realized was my GoPro wasn't actually working. However, I did have my video camera on, so you'll be able to see kind of what happens after that. Okay, so I took a shot at about 250 yards away, and it looked good. The muley actually bedded down not too far away, so I went over there to track him down, and I saw him bedded. And then, well, this is what happens next. Oh yeah, he's good. I had him in my scope. Yeah, he's a good one. So we just found our buck bedded right there. He's about 50 yards in front of us, right in front of us here. We know it was a good shot, but at the same time, we definitely want to finish him off.
He's definitely down.
Well,
now.
he ran probably
Doesn't have
50
much
yards
mass,
after that,
but-
fell down to this little creek here, this little creek bottom.
Why? He's like
And,
Ryan's. maybe,
well,
but
that's where we
worse.
found him laying there, and that's where we ended up getting him.
Oh, he's a cool buck.
So let's go take a look at him. He's a pretty cool looking buck. I'm super excited. My first ever mule deer. Now, at this point, I stopped recording with my GoPro, and I wanted to record again, that way I wouldn't lose the footage. So I walked up on the mule deer to pick it up. And my GoPro got all messed up and it started doing this like time-lapse mode. So it basically was like I was in super fast speed trying to pick up the mule deer and look at it. So if I can figure out a way to slow it down, I'll probably try and do that, but that's the only footage I have of me being able to walk up and observe my mule deer buck. But overall, it was a lot of fun. We went out there hunting and we just saw so many bucks. We saw so many big bucks. The first 2 days, actually the first day, I saw 3 head mount bucks. Now that was before season, so we couldn't actually shoot them, but it was still awesome to know that they're out there and they do exist. Either way, I'm super happy with the buck that I got. I honestly couldn't be any more happier, and I'm very, very appreciative to be able to have my first mule deer ever. And I took him down with my 308 AR rifle. So that was pretty cool. My first ever deer with my 308 AR rifle. But either way, one thing's definitely for sure, and that is that I've never had so much fun on a hunt in my entire life. So I'm so grateful to be able to do that hunt. And to come home with a great buck is only a bonus. But that's gonna be it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.